Okay, so on to the next Skip the Line reaction, man. And this one is Hua Chenyu Dancing Divas, right? This one is from, I'll let you guess. And there is a message from this lovely lady. Please read the More tab in the video to find out what the song is about. Hua was invited to rearrange an old Taiwanese songs with Taiwanese singers. More than that, I'll leave to the comments. Okay, fantastic. Let's go straight into the description section and let's read that. Okay, let me read this as quickly as I possibly can. In the ancient halls of the deserted place somewhere in India, sculptures of dancing ladies surround the rooms. Walls are covered with paintings of dancers that depict the grand celebration. Over thousands of years, the intricate movements of every joint in the bodies have been frozen in time, and the stories that flow from their fingertips remain only half told. As we walk quietly through the halls, moonlight shines through the windows, and the air stirs up some dust. Our eyes seem to be playing tricks on us, and the paintings and the statues don't seem to be immovable anymore. Did the dull gemstones on their foreheads just sparkle? As we try to take a closer look, the stones burst forth with bright light. Its magic swallows us and pulls us into music back in time. We find ourselves in the light of celebration. The ladies are swirling all around us, and the stories of joy and sorrow over the past millennia are flowing again from their fingertips. When our eyes catch the moonlight again, the magic fades away, the music silences, the dancing ladies turn back into sculptures and paintings. This sounds very much like a Night at the Museum plot, if I must be honest. We search for the sparkle in the gemstones, wishing to dance again and go back in time. So do the dancing ladies. This song was released in May 2006 from the 2000s. The original lyrics have the line, "Nobody sees the joy and sorrow of the dancers." Aha, there's your little connection over there. I think that line's going to be super important. This line was trimmed out in Hua Chenyu's version. The announcer at the beginning says that they, meaning the Hua's trio, I believe, see the joy and sorrow of the dancers. Wow, that sounds super interesting, man. Let's see what my boy got, man. I absolutely love this artist. So, Raza, thank you very much. Let's go.
他们看得见，华晨宇、魏如萱、坏特。
Let's put some CCs. Let's see if there's going to be something in CCs here. Might be. Oh, so okay, no, showing it. I thought there wasn't going to be a video, and I love Hua Chenyu actually watching him. It's got a beautiful voice. Beautiful, man. Jeez, I never knew that Hua Chenyu could play the piano. I mean, he looks like a multi-talented man anyway, but I never knew he knew how to play the piano that beautifully. I love her voice, first and foremost. I love the actual story itself, because now that you're actually thinking about it, it's like only the stories of kings and queens are told, never the stories of the jesters, right? The people who entertain, the people who sort of lighten up the mood and lighten up the celebration. They kind of do get frozen in time. They're the ones that are in the peripheries, right? It's always the kings and queens that are always sort of honed in on, and those are the stories that are told. Whether they were good or bad, it doesn't matter, but the people around them never really mattered. They were just the servants. So I like the fact that they actually made a story, well, this Taiwanese story, sort of depicted those people. I think that's pretty cool. 让那
些画面再出现，再回到从前，旋转跳跃，我闭着眼，真巧看不见你沉醉了没？白雪夏夜，我不停歇，模糊了年岁，时光的沙漏被我踩碎。
Hey. Excuse me, I like the way they've actually kept the concept of the story alive through this piece. Where in the story they actually depicted these dancers like frozen in time, and they're walking through these like these museums or whatever else, and they see these paintings on the wall, and then all of a sudden like they kind of move and jolt, and then they burst into light and they come to life. So they're actually doing the song exactly the same way. So they're kind of telling you the story, and it's very sort of like calm and subdued, and now this is the time where they actually come to life. They're actually painting that story exactly as the story is told, but in their musical piece. Very, very cool. And they're acting it out as well. I like that line over there. Wait a second. I will turn your forsaken happiness into reality and erase your sadness. Right? And that's actually speaking of the dancers themselves, because they're meant to be entertaining, if not for a short moment. Right? It's your forsaken happiness. It's just, it is what it is, and that's your life, unfortunately. It's forsaken, but it is what it is. That's just life. That was life at the time as well. But for a small moment in time, they were able to lift that, right? So they kind of deserve a bit of credit. They deserve credit for what they do. They actually, to a certain degree, they were therapeutic to a certain degree. They served the people, but they in turn were people themselves that never got the appreciation that they deserved. Love that. That warrior sound that they have over there, it's almost like a warrior chant, that hum, very cool, right? Really try to sort of put you back in that era. I like the fact that they're doing that, because they're saying, like, you know, all this pain and sorrow, right, and joy is all been written. It's all in the scriptures. You just need to go and find it, and you can actually have you can live these moments again, right? Let your imagination run wild. That's something that we do have, and we have the ability to do. We can bring back the past through our imagination. We can bring back the past through reading. We can bring back the past through researching, right? And it says, let those moments live again. You know, see them for what they are, even if they long past.
我闭着眼，那些沙眼我不理会，旋转跳跃我闭着眼，那些沙眼我不理会。
Like that.
月光放肆在染色的窗边，转眼魔化说要学绝。
See, now they're following exactly the story again, where they have that whole, the in that part where it was, quite upbeat, the dancers came to life, right? And they didn't have that, and now they've slowed it down. They've calmed the whole thing down. Hua Chenyu went back to the piano, and they're going to close off the story where everyone just gets frozen in time again. Right, I like the fact. You know what I love about Hua Chenyu's music as well is that I love the fact that he's so. The pieces that he creates are so attached to poetry because when a man is obsessed with something or when a man is in love with something, and he's an artist, the first thing he would look to is poetry because poetry is one of the most descriptive ways of sort of explaining and trying to extrapolate your thoughts in a way that is very vivid, right? So I love the fact that, it's not just these like simple lyrics that explain something. It's actually poetic. And anything that's poetic has got multi-layers to them, right? And it's beautiful. And like I say, when a man's obsessed with something and a man's in love with something and he's an artist, he will turn to poetry first. Let's go.
转眼魔化说要学绝，在一杯那古老神秘恒河水，我镶在了头的帽檐，点亮了经典。
再回到从前，
再回到
Let's go back in time.
从前。
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful storytelling piece, which is great, right? It's a story that's sort of out of time, and they've decided to take that little foible from a Taiwanese piece, and they decided to sort of relive that, right? And when you listen to something like that, your mind goes crazy. You start painting the pictures. It just goes to show you how powerful poetry is and how powerful artistry is, right? Because don't forget, culture is very much attached to artistry, right? We are nothing without our art. We are nothing without our culture is attached to artistry, right? And it's attached to poetry, and it's attached to all of those great things. And then that is downstream of politics, right? All of these political systems that try to control people and try to control people's cultures and people's views and things like that is purely because they're trying to control the very essence of humanity, which is it's their artistry, which is the very meaning of life, which is the art. That's what politicians try to control, because it's something that comes from love. It's something that comes from obsession, right? And you can control that love, and you can control those obsessions, right? You in turn controlling humanity, right? Because you're controlling the very essence of their being, which I think is, it's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Anyway, love you all. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.